Question number 6. Now in this question we need to create a method which takes an array as a parameter, then it reverses this array. Then we need to find out the time complexity of created method. So basically our method will take parameter an array like this, then the return value should be like this. As you see over here, we have reversed this array like this. So the last element come to the first place and the first element go to the last place. And the second element go to over here, and the element that is located before the last element comes over here. Basically the logic will be like this. We will not touch the middle element because it's in the right place. Then we will replace first element with the last element, then the second element with the element that's located before last element, and it continues like this. So the logic is like this. So this means that we will only traverse through this array until the middle of the array. Now based on this logic, let's create our function in Java. So here I'm going to declare our function like this, void reverse. So as a parameter it will take integer array. Then inside function, the first thing that I'm going to do, I will traverse through array until the middle of array. So for integer I equals 0, we're starting from 0 index. It continues until the length of array. So here we said that we need to traverse until the half of array. So that's why I will put over here divided by 2. I will be increased by 1. Then over here inside loop, I'm going to create a variable which is taking the last element's index. The variable will be like this, integer. So I'm going to name it other. So it's going to be the last element's index. So in this case we need to put array length minus I minus 1, because in this case we are starting from the last element. So for the first case I is 0, so it's taking the last element's index, then it comes to the elements before the last element until we reach the middle. Then I'm going to create another variable over here which takes the array element which is located at the index of I. So the temporary variable will be like this, array I, because at the end we are going to assign this one to the index of other. So then we will replace first element with the last element. So for this I'm going to write like this, array I equals to array other, because in this case if starts from the 0, now array 0 is first element and array the length minus 1 is the other, so which is the last element over here. So we will replace them. Now we need to set the first element to this element over here. So that's why we have saved first element in the temp variable. So that's why I'm going to set this one to temp. So I'll just copy it from here and put it over here and set it to temp. Now with this we have finished our method. At the end we are going to print out our array. Now to print out our array, I have imported array library over here. So by using this we are going to print out our array to the system. So in Java, to print out array to the console, we are going to do like this. So out.print. Then here I'm going to call arrays.toString, and inside is going to be the array that comes from this parameter. Now here inside this method, main method, if I call our reverse function for this array, you will see the result. So I'm going to do it like this, main.reverse, and as a parameter is going to take custom array. So if I run our code, you see that initially our array was like this, then we have converted it and it becomes like this. So we have successfully reversed our array. Now we need to find out time complexity for this method over here. Now to make more space over here, I'm going to change the layout to stacked so we can easily see the method over here. Now we are going to find the time complexity for this method over here. Now as always we'll start from the first line of code. So in the first line of code we are traversing through array until the middle of array. So this means that if the number of elements in the array is n, so the middle of array will be n divided by 2. So the time complexity for this loop will be O n divided by 2. Then we are continuing to the next line of code. So in the next line of code we have created a variable and assigned a value to it. So this one will take O1 time complexity. Then we are continuing to the next line of code. So in the next line of code we have also the same operation. So this one also will take O1 time complexity. Then we are continuing to the next line of code. In the next line of code we are changing the values of elements in the array. So this one also is assignment statement. So this one also will take O1 time complexity. Now we have same operation over here. This one also will take O1 time complexity, and at the end we are printing out the array, so this one also will take O1 time complexity. Now from On divided by 2, we can eliminate the constant term, so this means that it becomes On time complexity. Now if we combine all these complexities over here, we are getting On time complexity because non-dominant terms will be eliminated. So in this case, non-dominant terms are O1s, so that's why we can easily eliminate them. So the time complexity for this method will be On. Now with this, we have come to the end of this lecture, so hopefully you have understood how we are finding time complexity for this method over here, and how can we reverse an array using iterative solution over here. So if you look at carefully to this method, you can see that we are not using any recursive solution over here. It's possible to solve this problem with the recursion, but here I have used iterative solution. So hopefully everything is clear about this method and the time complexity of this method. So see you in the next lecture.